An announcement from the great and powerful Oz.
I thought it over, and green is dead. Till I changed my mind, the color's red.
Hey everyone, it's Red Angel, and I have on the line with me comedian E. Love. Now, I want to say thank you because you are the first comedian that has been on Red Angel Radio.
Oh, wow. I appreciate it so much.
I feel like we're growing. This is awesome.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
Well, good. I'm very glad. You are currently in Atlanta, correct?
Yes, born and raised.
Born and raised in Atlanta. All right. So
yeah, it's not too many. It's not too many of us that are here.
Yeah,
that's why you see all the accidents on the road because those people are not from Atlanta.
Right. Okay. All right. Now, I know comedy because I watch it. I love it. I laugh. Laughter is good for the soul. But I'm not all that familiar with the aspect of comedy and entertainment. What, first off, how long have you been in this particular part of the industry? Like, how long have you been a comedian? I guess
I've been a comedian now for about 2 years. Personally, for me, I think I've been funny my whole life. I just now decided to go ahead and stop making people laugh, for free to go ahead and take it on the road. Because I'm always making my classmates laugh, some teachers, getting put out of the classroom because I'm disrupting their classroom from telling jokes. And so, but I've been pursuing it to take it nationwide for the past 2 years now.
How did you finally decide to, take that leap of faith and just do it? Because, there's so many people who have a talent and they talk themselves out of it each and every time. What actually motivated you to finally just do it?
I think it was more or less where, so many people kept saying to me, because I'm sitting there having a conversation with people, and I'm just, that's where it gives me an opportunity to test my material out on folk that I just meet, and they kept saying, "Oh man, are you a comedian? Do you go on stage?" And finally, I had to go ahead and say, "You know what? I need to go on to take this on the stage." And so, at first I was kind of a little scared because I was like, man, I don't want to get booed. Who wants to get booed? And then they're like, then everybody knows, say, oh, that guy ain't funny. But I went ahead and stepped out there because, so many of my friends and people I didn't know were saying, hey, you should try it.
Wow. Now, that's very inspirational to so many people, I'm sure, who are listening right now because they're very undecided and not quite sure if they should do it or not do it. If you could, when you decided to do it, just let us know what that experience was like the first time you were on stage and you had an audience. What did that feel like?
Wow, it was like being on a screen machine at Six Flags. When you up on that big, that's the best way I can describe it. They called your name up because I know my first show I ever did, they were they were asking who gonna go first. And I'm looking at all the comedians who've done this stuff for a while, and I'm looking like, I know I'm not going to go first. So I said, I go second. So after the first person went, he was so funny. I was like, oh, man, I know I cannot follow that. Then people laughing, they falling out their chairs. I said, you know what, I'm just going to do my best. That's all I can do. So it was kind of like for me, it was like a ride on Six Flags, the Scream Machine, it going uphill. And then when I started telling my jokes, people were laughing, and then I was like, oh man, I can actually do this. I got people actually laughing at the stuff that I've been, working on, and it was so gratifying when I got done. The comedians that were there, that were veterans, doing it for a while, they were like, oh man, this is what you need to work on. This was the timing. This was good. Don't do that no more. They were telling me good stuff. They weren't like sugarcoating it, and I really appreciate that.
Wow, definite camaraderie backstage. amongst the comedians. And I noticed even from, just watching like the different specials and things like that on television, comedians are very tight. It's a very tight-knit community when, you end up traveling, in the same circles. And is that true? Like, that's the way it looks to me, or is it like some other things where, it gets a little catty or, a lot of haterade and all that other stuff going on?
The comedians, I haven't seen that. I think everybody wants to see everybody succeed, because it's like, if you succeed, then shoot, I can get on your tour. So it's like, I think everybody's trying to work and trying to help each other so that everybody can be the best. I really rarely see any comedian that say, I don't want to work with you. Unless you just got the big head. But I see, every comedian that I've met is like, oh man, well, if you about to do a show, I'm gonna be doing this stuff. But take my number, give me a call and see what I can do for you. And I haven't seen anybody yet in doing this that have not, had their arms open and saying, hey man, let me help you get to the next level.
Right. Now, currently, do you have any projects that you're working on?
I'm actually in a play that I'm in right now. It's going called Sonny's Place. It's going to take place in August. I'm not sure of the date right now. It's going to be at the Punchline. And it's a throwback to the 50s and 60s. It's going to have swing dancing in it, and I play one of the characters in the play. So I got that, and a couple other. We're getting ready to put together a comedy show and help other aspiring comedians that are starting off. 'Cause I'm still growing too, so it's going to help me as well. So we're gearing up to do that as well. So those are the major things that I got going on right now. And a couple of little gigs that I'm doing in different places here in Atlanta. I normally do a lot of churches, so I'm working on trying to build the base.
Very nice. Where can everyone find you? Like, if they wanted to, do you have a website, your YouTube, your Facebooks? You want to give?
Well, you can. I'm always on Twitter. They can look on there. It's Southside Comedy. It's a picture of me on the side of a bus.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was like, what picture could I take? So I was on a trip from Florida, and we were riding on this bus, so I jumped on the front of the bus. It wasn't.
Wow.
It looks like it's moving. He started off trying to take off. Then because he was thought it was gonna be funny if he act like I was about to die, and then somebody snapped the picture. So then that's the front of the picture. But yeah, they can find me. I'm always trying to crack jokes on there.
Okay. Now, any shout-outs or anything that you want to give to anyone?
Yeah, I want to give a shout-out to my manager, Eric's. Name sound like he sneezed. It's Eric with an H on it. That's my boy. To the people, to the Fame Exchange, that's the people that's with my publicist. They helping me get out there. And to Quest de Life, they helping me out with my style and stuff. That's my people over there with Levita. Yeah. But yeah, definitely want to shout out to them.
Well, you know what? I want to thank you so much for your time. You're always welcome here. We'll definitely have to come out and cover one of your events when you're up there so people can actually hear, get a good laugh. And I'm sure comedians have a really tough job, I think, because trying to make people laugh without offending them is hard.
Yeah, so I don't try to crack on the audience per se, unless I just see something that just has to be cracked on.
Right.
If you're a female and your jeans are too tight, when you have to sit down and you have to breathe real hard to sit, I'm gonna have to say something. If you got the shoes on too small for your foot and your big toe hanging off the edge, you got the fat meat, I'm gonna say something.
Oh no,
but if your haircut is not right, fellas, what I'm saying, if your everything look good but your shoes dingy, I'm gonna say something. But for the most part, I don't talk about people.
Right. For the most part.
Unless I see something, because I don't like when, growing up. I think one of the other things that made me really get into this because back in the day everybody used to Jones, and I found out my Jones would get me into fights because my Jones would be like kind of truths. You know, people be saying, yo, yeah, your mom. I say, well, that's why you don't know your daddy. You know, and I say stuff like that. And I say, I say, I say, that's why you on welfare. You know, then they get mad. I say, isn't that the same shirt you wore 2 days straight because your brother wore it the other day? I would say stuff like that, and it would get me in trouble.
Oh, my God.
So, so nobody be want to joke me because I would find out the stuff that happened to you for real and put that out there.
I got you.
So I kind of switched it up too. So I normally talk about my life and things that happen in me and my family, true things that have actually happened, And then I think the most funniest person in my family is my grandma, because before she passed, my grandma, that's I think where I get most of my jokes from, because my grandma used to get into so many different crazy situations. She almost fell down the escalator at the airport and a midget picked her up.
No.
Stuff like that. So, it's like crazy things my grandma would do. This woman couldn't drive, but telling you to shut up and hurry up and get her home. Like, look, grandma, you don't drive. Be quiet. So little crazy things like that. So I normally talk about my family, which they sometimes don't too much like, but I normally keep it there.
Wow. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you, to checking you out, and I definitely encourage all of my listeners to support E-Love. Follow him on Twitter, Southside Comedy. It's at Southside Comedy, right? On Twitter.
Yes.
And give him a follow, support, and find out where he's going to be and check him out. Again, I thank you so very much, and you are welcome here anytime.
Thank you so much. I love to come back and hope we can get in person, and I can get over there and I'll tell a few jokes.
Absolutely. You know what? I think we need to go ahead and we'll set that up. I'll contact Eric, and, we're going to have a nice little comedy session over here. That will work.
Hey, I love to. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. Well, listeners, don't you dare move. Judah has some more music coming up for you next.